When my to-do list is a mile long, it feels very difficult to prioritize taking care of all of the mental weight, all of the mental clutter, all of that, instead of checking off my to-do list, instead of tackling the physical tasks in the 3D realm. It is difficult to prioritize adding in one more thing.
Welcome to Breakthrough Mode, the podcast where we intentionally get into the driver's seat of our lives, shift out of monotony and mediocrity, and step on the gas towards becoming the person we were always meant to become.
Hello, and welcome to Wednesday in the Wild on the Breakthrough Mode podcast. I am your host, Megan Bauer. Thank you so much for joining me today and pushing play on today's episode. To start off this Wednesday in the Wild episode, I want to tell you about an experience that I recently had. It was a couple of weeks ago, and it was one of those days that I really had a lot to do. I had a long to-do list. I had a meeting scheduled in the afternoon right before I left to go get the girls. And then, of course, after I have the girls, it is homework and showers and bedtime and the whole thing, and the day is over. So everything that I needed to get done that day had to be done before this meeting. And so I found myself at my desk getting things done, working through my to-do list. At the time, I was working on my weekly email to my people. And I looked over at my email and I saw that one of my mentors was putting on a training. And I was like, oh, I'm here at my desk. I might as well just put this training on and see if there's anything good. And you know where this is going because you can see it. But here in that moment, I have a lot to do. I need to get this email written and scheduled out to my people. And there was an opportunity for this training from one of my mentors. That's awesome. So I'm going to try to do both. Of course, I'm going to try to do both. I have the email, which for me, my emails are a creative pursuit. I'm connecting a life lesson and a story with an overall theme, and I'm trying to connect these dots and make metaphors and bring out lessons, right? So it's a creative task. And I'm trying to watch this training and, learn how I can improve and be better and all of that. You know, this didn't end well. You know that I was effective at neither. You know already that this split focus did not help me out. I was slow at writing my email, and I didn't get what I could have gotten from the training because I was present in neither place. I was here a little, there a little, not super effective. Here is the funny part. This specific training was on time management. And here I was breaking one of the cardinal rules of time management by splitting my focus and trying to multitask. And not even like I wasn't even passively multitasking. I was really struggling at both. I was either watching the training and getting little bits there, or I was trying to find my train of thought on what I was telling my people and what picture I was painting in my email, and really not effective at either. So we know when we talk about time management, we know that there are things that you have to cut out. There are things that you have to say no to in order to effectively do other things. We know that we shouldn't task switch. We know that we shouldn't multitask. We know that we are most effective when we have one task in front of us and we are lasered in, focused on that one task. Not checking email, certainly not watching a training, not on social media, not trying to schedule a doctor's appointment, not trying to do any of that. We're doing one thing with our attention at one time. we know that that is part of productivity, efficiency, time management. We have all been on the phone with somebody who is doing something else, and you can tell they're not really present with you. They're not really engaged in the conversation. They're half here, half there. Maybe they're making dinner, maybe they're doing whatever, but they're not 100% with you. And when you're doing your tasks, if you're not 100% there, you're also not being effective at whatever it is you're doing. Okay, we know that. Here's what I've been playing with though. I have found that in my day to day, I feel this pressure of checking things off of the to do list, mindfully being like, I'm going to do this and not this. I'm going to focus here and not on here. And there are still points in my day where I experience this friction, this area where I could do better if I didn't have this thing in the way, but I don't have time to take care of this thing right now because I have so much to do. I don't have time for it. Here's my argument that you can actually be more effective, more productive, use your time in a better manner by adding in very intentional, very specific tasks or activities that remove the friction points that you are experiencing in your day. An easy one to visualize is having a cluttered workspace or a messy desk and constantly be needing to find something in your workspace or on your desk. And it's just so messy that it actually hinders whatever it is that you're trying to do. By adding in the task of organizing and picking up and decluttering your area, you actually become more productive, more focused, more effective, and efficient. By taking the 10 minutes up front to clear the way, to remove the friction, you actually get to be more productive. You get to use your time wisely, right? You get to focus in on the task when you're not tripping over everything else. That is an easy one to visualize, and that is one that most people can get behind, even if it's still hard to prioritize that task of, okay, I need to just clear this area so that I can think, so that I can find what I need, so that I can stay focused. We can get behind that pretty easily. My biggest point of friction isn't usually my environment. My biggest point of friction is usually something in my head. I might have thoughts that are on some sort of loop in my head. I might have a list of unwritten down tasks in my head. I might have emotions that want some attention around here. I might have all of these things going on in my head. And when my to do list is a mile long, it feels very difficult to prioritize taking care of all of the mental weight, all of the mental clutter, all of that instead of checking off my to do list, instead of tackling the physical tasks in the 3D realm. It is difficult to prioritize adding in one more thing. It's hard to be like, okay, I have all of these things I need to do, and instead, I'm going to spend 30 minutes in my journal. However, when I allow myself the time to write down thoughts that keep plaguing me and just give it some attention, or process some emotions that I'm feeling, or even taking the time to write down a list of things that have been piling up in my head. When I take that time, it removes a mental, emotional friction that once it's gone, allows me to move forward more effectively, more efficiently, faster, and even with more happiness and joy because I don't have whatever it was plaguing me. I don't have this mental weight dragging me down. This is one of the huge benefits of journaling. And when you have like this mental clutter or this emotional clutter, having a journal that can hold it all for you is incredible because then you don't have to hold it all day. You can feel it, you can think it, and then you can stash it somewhere where it's safe, where it's, it's there, you've seen to it, you're aware of it, you've acknowledged it, and now you are lighter to move on with your day and to move on with your tasks and to move on with whatever comes your way. So, the interesting thing here is that when we think about time management, we think about subtraction. We think about what can I not do? What can I, you know, the decisions, the intentional decisions. I'm going to focus on this and not this. What I want you to consider is the opportunity of intentional additions that will make you more effective or more efficient, that will help you be your best self, show up in your best way, and really remove any friction that you are encountering, both in the physical world and in your head. By adding in intentional activities, intentional tasks, you can really support whatever it is that you're trying to get done. It is an intentional thing, though, because very easily you can go down the road of, you know, a quote unquote productive procrastination. So, this is a very intentional addition, not just something that you're adding in because you're secretly avoiding what it is that you want to do or what it is that you need to do because you don't want to do it. It's an intentional addition. There's an opportunity there on both sides. Subtract things that don't need to be done or don't need to be focused on or that are splitting your attention, and mindfully add things that are going to remove the friction that you are experiencing so that you can show up better, fuller, your bright, shiny self. That's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am so grateful for you. I totally love you. Bye for now.